Secretary for National Treasury Ukuru Yatani will read in Parliament the budget highlights for the 2020-2021 financial year and the revenue-raising measures. This will happen amidst the coronavirus pandemic that has had adverse effect on global economies. And in Kenya, the tax bracket has reduced significantly. Mwangi Maina reports.
Kenyans will be eagerly waiting for Mr. Austerity, the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, Ambassador Ukuru Yatani, for his maiden budget presentation to the country in the National Assembly. With a depressed economy reeling from the economic turmoil brought about by the novel coronavirus, Kenyans will be waiting for this man to make known what he has for them. Falling on the backdrop of the pandemic, this time round things will be different. It will be a budget day like no other. Not too much color and pomp as the CS and his team make their way to the National Assembly chambers and will present the budget in the presence of only 25% of MPs who will be in the chamber. The budget comes at a time when the country is facing massive job losses, missed revenue targets, reduced revenue allocation, and increased expenditure towards the fight against coronavirus. This means that Yatani and his team have to scratch their heads even harder to balance the tough equation.
Tutaendelea kuona ni kwa njia gani tutasaidiana na Wakenya wenzetu, haswa wale ambao wamelemewa kabisa, na tuone ni kwa njia gani tutaweza kuwasaidia katika wakati huu mgumu ambao tuko nao.
With the government having reduced value-added tax from 16 to 14% and reduction in payee and a tax relief for persons earning 24,000 shillings and less, this means the government has to look for means to sustain the economy. This will lead to more borrowing to put more money in the pockets of Kenyans, with every sector looking up to Yatani. The Central Bank of Kenya says SMEs are most vulnerable, with 3/4 most likely not to make it past June since they lack capital. Last year, the economy grew downwards from 6.3% in 2018 to 5.4% in 2019. With a ravaged economy, floods, locust invasion, COVID-19 pandemic, and wanton misuse of public funds, the economy can only go down.
SMEs, MSMEs as well, don't have a lot of let's say buffers in terms of credit or in terms of other resources that they can use, and therefore they generally would die quickly. They are very vulnerable in that sense. And as a matter of fact, there was a survey that was done at the end of April, and that survey indicated that three quarters of SMEs, of the surveyed SMEs, do not have cash beyond 2 months.
Walking on a tightrope, CS Ukuru Yatani and his East African counterparts are seeking a moratorium on paying foreign debts to allow the East African nations to at least survive on the little they have. Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda will have their budgets read tomorrow. Yatani is a second Treasury CS under the Jubilee administration. His predecessor, Henry Rotich, left office early this year after being charged with corruption in court. Mwangi Maina, TV 47, Nairobi.